I'd like to welcome everyone to today's virtual session, Master Your Membership Roster Management 101. I'm Susan Smith, and I'm the Director of Member Services and Programs at U.S. Rowing. Your presenter today is Jules Zane, who I'm sure many of you know and have talked to from time to time. Among other things, Jules heads up the U.S. Rowing Registered Regatta Program and is one of the people who pick up the phone when you call us here at U.S. Rowing. You are participating in the second virtual session that we put on in the past month. A few weeks ago, we hosted our first virtual session. It was called What If with Wendy, which had Wendy Pierce of Roars explaining the insurance coverage that comes with your U.S. Rowing organizational membership. And she answered many questions that members had about their insurance. The format of that session was 35 minutes of presentation, then the rest of the hour for Q&A. And that's what we're planning on today as well. I do want to mention that if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them in the chat window, and I'll make sure we address them at that time. We are also going to mute all of your audios during the presentation so that there is minimal feedback. This session will be recorded, and once edited, will be placed in the Resource Vault, which is available under Member Services Resources on our website. That way, it'll be available for others who couldn't make this session or for you to review it at a later time. I also want to mention we're going to be rolling out more and more of these over the next year, and at the end of today's session, we'll ask for your feedback on what else, what other topics you'd like to see in these sessions. So, without further ado, let's get started. Jules, take it away.
Thank you, Susan. I wanted to welcome everyone to this session. We're very happy that you guys are all here. As we said in the invitation, a big part of this is a way to introduce people who have questions about using the roster, all the capabilities that it has. And if you're new and you're doing this for the first time, this is more of a welcome to the roster that we introduced last season, and we're still introducing new features over time, and we're also interested in your feedback at the end about things about the roster that you might even want to see in the near future. There are a couple things we're going to show you, and I'm going to switch from the PowerPoint presentation to one of our test organizations in the database so I can show you the functions as they come. First things first, as you can see here, we are using US Row Test 1. It's one of our test orgs. It's a way for me to show you all the features, and this one has expired. Your memberships are always due at the beginning of January. So the US Rowing organizational memberships run on a schedule where they lapse at the end of every annual. Basically, it's an annual membership that we're looking for, and we want you to renew in January. If you are renewing late, there's not usually a prorated deal available. So for most of you who have current memberships, January is the time to renew, and you can do that by using the renew button that you see here. In terms of logging in, as many of you might know, you need a Regatta Central account, which will be connected to your club account using an admin code and a token. And I'll show you an example here. Many of you have asked us in the past, how can we have more people access the same account? One of our recommendations right now is to create a generic account for your team. You can start a new email address. It could be a Gmail, or it could be the info at, the name of your club.com. Go to Regatta Central, create a new account there, and you can give us a call if you have a current account holder. And we can do what I'm going to do for our test account. You currently see here that someone who was actually a part of our team before was running this test account. The token is in red because it is a one-time use token. If I click on the X, you'll see that it goes to a token in green, which will be the new token to use for this team. And what it does is if you call us and you want to switch to one person who has access, or you want to switch it to a generic account, this is the way for us to take care of this, and for us to provide you with a new token so more people can access using one and the same Regatta Central account. A couple more things about the membership that might be interesting and important. There is the tier level. Right now, we have tier 1 through tier 5, which covers up to a certain amount of members. Some of you might be interested in using a second name for the team or a separate organization that rose out of the same boathouse, and you can do that using the so-called sub-organization. This allows you to fill up the number of people that you cover with your current membership by using a second name. So for example, you are Club A and you pay for a tier 3 membership that covers up to 150 people, and you're only using 100 of those. You only have 100 people coming to your team. If you then also want to start Club B, because maybe that's for a different demographic, or that's your elite team, or the team that you want to take to races, you can start a sub-organization. We list who it is with, and you can use the 50 memberships that you don't use on that one organization with a second one. The cost of that this season was $375 instead of having to pay for another tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3 membership. In addition, if you are looking at this membership tile, the profile page, and you click on admin code, your club code is the first 5 symbols that you see here. We often get this question. There is another place where you can find it, but if you have a coach or an athlete who is calling you and saying, hey, I'm looking to do my membership, it says your roster is locked, and it's asking me for the club code, this is the code to give them. So in this case, of the admin code, it's the symbols before the hyphen that they type in to unlock their individual membership. In addition, there is one listed here for the test organization. We always ask for a primary contact as well as additional contacts. The difference between the two is that the primary contact is the people that we would reach out to first if we need to reach your team. And in addition, the email address for the contact that is listed as the primary contact is the email address that receives updates regarding the membership, if payments are due. If you've made a payment, that is the email address that will receive the receipt for that payment. As of right now, you can only list one primary contact, but you can list multiple contacts. And we ask you to do that because it's a way for us to figure out who your coaches are, or who your treasurer might be, or who does your team's entries, in a way where we can give them a call instead of ending up calling the president over something that might be more of a question for the head coach at your team. So think through who you want to be, who you want to list as the person, or the email address at least, that receives receipts and updates regarding renewing, but also provide us with multiple contacts just in case we want to reach your team and we have questions for them, and you might not have phone numbers listed on your team's website.
Jules, before you go on, I just want to make a couple of points. One, in terms of access to the organizational membership. Currently, as Jules mentioned, there is only one login. It's the Regatta Central user ID and password. Slated for 2017, we're going to provide multiple access, and they will have different permissions. That will not be available first thing 2017, but it is on the list, the project list for 2017. And I also would mention the suborgs. We have many organizations where they have a very active booster club. And many of these organizations decide that they will include their booster club as a sub-organization, because oftentimes they're doing things even outside of the normal rowing related um, organizations. So just wanted to mention that to people. If in case any of you have that kind of setup or have thought about, well, maybe we want to do something for our booster club, and this is a way for you to cover them for different fundraisers or anything else that they're actually organizing.
Okay, thank you. I'll go to the next step of the presentation, which is a very important part for a lot of people. Once you're logged in and you see your profile, you can go to your roster. The roster will look like this. For many of you, there will be far more athletes than the two that we have here in the test setup that I'm showing you. But this is a way for me to be able to present the different situations that you might notice on your roster as well. First things first, there are 4 tabs. There's active, which is everyone that you have listed as an active member on your team. If someone affiliates themselves with you using your club code, they will first appear on your active roster. In addition, if you add an athlete, they will also appear here first. Imagine someone is no longer on your team. You can then move them to archived if, for example, you don't want to lose their contact information because they might return to your team at a later date, or because you're interested in keeping the information for any of your team's alumni. In addition, once they are in archived, they will not be on your active roster, which means that it's easier for you to keep track of who is, but they don't lose their affiliation in the account. Maybe that's just sentimental for some people, but we see athletes, individual memberships that have 5, 6 teams listed, and that's fine with us, but many of them might be in that team's archive and not on the active page. I think for this example, there are no results. There's no one listed in the archive page, but it would be, if there were people on the roster previously and they've been moved there, which you do by just selecting the one that you want to move and then clicking on archive selected, and the same way you can move them back to your active tab. One question we get a lot over the phone is coaches who are having a hard time adding athletes to their roster, or who are wondering who can pay for an athlete coming onto the team. We have the basic membership with the administrative fee now, which means that someone who might be all new to rowing and who would have joined as a basic member last year would see no obstacle. They would just log in and they would be able to sign up for the basic membership. Now they not only are asked for the club code, they will also be asked to pay the administrative fee. Now, if your team decides that you want to pay that for them, you can do that. And there are actually 2 ways to take care of a membership if someone is new to your team, and it depends on whether or not they have rowed somewhere else before. Now, I'll show you first, what if someone is a member somewhere else or was a member and you want to add them to your roster? What you would do is you click on Add an Athlete, and you look them up by one of these 3 methods. I will, for this example, use last name and date of birth, and I will add myself. So my last name is Zane. This is my date of birth. We click on Search for an Athlete, and I appear here as a current member. I can select this person, and wait, I should have been added here, but I was not. Let me run that again. There we go. Let's see what happens. So I am now added to the roster, and there are a couple things that you notice right away on the active tab. The member number for the new person is listed, their first and last name. The green check marks indicate that my waiver was signed, and my membership, which is noted in black with an expiration date in The future means it shows what type of membership I have and when my expiration date is, as well as my current age. For example, the person who is listed at the top, that membership is in red and it's striked out. This means that the membership has expired and it shows the date of when it has expired. Now, imagine you are adding a rower who previously has not rowed with anyone. There is a way to add them as well. So let me show you how to do that. Once you select Add Athlete, you go for the last name. Let's go for a slight misspelling of my own name. Pick a slightly different date of birth, and you go search for an athlete. That person, nothing appears. There is no one that matches the record. Now, all you have to do as a coach or as an administrator is fill out their first name, fill out their gender, and add an email address. And you click Save Athlete Edits. This will add this person to your active roster, but currently there is no membership. There is no expiration date because they are all new and they do not have a completed individual membership just by being on the roster. This is where I can show you what you can do next if you are the person taking care of the membership for them instead of having them pay for it themselves. You go to the Process Memberships tab, where you can select the type of membership. And I believe that this software might gray out the next couple options because it's a drop-down menu. However, when you click on it, it will say Basic Membership, Championship Membership 26 and under, or Championship Membership 27 and over. Now, in this case, let me select the Basic Membership. It will show you the people who are eligible for basic membership. It's the person we have as a test person, as well as the rower that I just created who is brand new, who has not rowed before. All you have to do is make sure that the correct email address is listed, because once you select this rower or both rowers to be the people that you want to pay for, you go to the Pay button. It will show you the total amount, which is at this point $5.75 times the number of people that you've selected. And if you were to click on Pay, it will take you to a regular checkout where you can fill out a credit card. And what it will do is it will give a basic membership to all the accounts that you selected, and it will automatically email all the people that you paid for that their membership was taken care of, and to please follow the link in the email to either just sign the waiver or, in case of new rowers, to fill out all their personal information and that way complete the record as individuals with us. This makes them a full basic member, and if you then return to the active tab of your roster, you will be able to monitor when they have completed it, because it will show you a green check mark to say that their waiver is done once they've clicked on the link and they did their waiver. And in addition, you will be able to click on the member number, and the member number shows you this tab. And if you click on, for example, phone numbers and address, currently they are empty, but once the rower has completed all the information that they find through the link, it will pop up for you. In addition, occasionally you will have a rower on your roster who has been entered there because you did an entry on Regatta Central. If you did an entry on Regatta Central and you did not use the member number for a rower, the rower might appear as no membership, the name of the rower, no information regarding the membership and their age, but no email address. If you then go to process memberships, that rower will appear in red, indicating that there is not enough information for you to pay for their membership and for the membership to be completed. All you have to do in that case is click on No Membership in front of their name, and you will see an Edit button next to the word Athlete. If you click on Edit and fill out an email address and make sure that everything and only the things that are listed on the Personal tab for the athlete is filled out, it should then allow you to go back to process memberships and pay for the membership for this rower. There is an additional benefit for processing memberships that are championship memberships. In this case, the person who is our test person is over the age of 27. And what you're also seeing is my personal membership expiring in January is eligible to be renewed because that is within the next 90 days. Now, the big benefit of doing a championship membership group renewal is that there is a discount deal available. For every 6 memberships that you select to pay for, you can select a seventh one that will be free. So basically, you get about a 15% discount if you renew multiple people at the same time. Say you have first started everyone off on basic memberships, but in spring season you are taking your youth rowers to a U.S. rowing regional regatta, or you have a lot of masters rowers who are attending their regional championship. You can then select all of them at the same time, pay for their group membership in one go, and as I said, for every seventh rower that you select, so at 7 and 14 and 21, you get one of them for free. Um, this is especially attractive if you are a smaller team or if you are very sure that a lot of people on your squad will be attending a US Rowing hosted event or will want to use their championship membership. And based on the feedback that we have gotten over the last year or so, we've actually decided that for next year, the Tier 6 membership, which gives your team full insurance if everyone is a championship member on your roster as well, this Tier 6 membership will kind of drop in price and by quite a bit. Currently, it's set at $975, and we are intending to lower the price by about 30 to 35%, in order to incentivize for the smaller teams to move away maybe from the tier 1 or tier 2 membership and have the same protection, and be able to provide your rowers with more benefits like additional insurance, the Rowing News magazine that you are receiving as a complimentary gift with this subscription, with the championship membership, and in addition also Experticity, which is a discount program where our individual members who are champ members can sign up with this website and get up to 70% off on more than 300 brands of outdoor gear. Um, a big reason that we did this, as I said, is the feedback from people who were wondering um, kind of if there is a benefit to having everyone signed up to championship membership, and we want to be able to incentivize that and to kind of make it a more fair deal between the tier 6 and then also tier 1, which covers up to 20 basic members for your team. This is kind of the biggest shift that you will see between this year's rates for the organizational membership and then the rate for next year. Um, some of you who are on this presentation might be the coaches or administrators for a team that competes in the IRA championships or in the NCAA championship. You will notice that when you go to process memberships and you select basic membership, that your fee is listed as exempt. This is because your association takes care of this cost for you. It means that if a rower individually actually goes in to do the individual membership, they will notice that the price is $5.75 for them this season. However, if you as a team tell us who are the rowers that are on your squad right now, you can provide them with a basic membership for free. One final thing that I want to cover before we take all your questions is the settings button for the roster. If you click on settings, currently you see that the only thing you can do is whether or not your club code is required. Um, in this case, club code is set to being required. If you were to say open access, it means that anyone can select your team as a team they want to be affiliated with, and it will not prompt those people for the club code. Now, this might sound enticing if you get a lot of calls from people who are wondering what the club code is or are having a hard time signing up for your team. But I would always recommend keeping the club code listed on there. And a main reason for that is it protects you from people who might choose your team as an affiliation to get an entry through for an event. And I just really want to, want to make sure um, that that everyone on your roster is actually with your team, just in case you sign up for a tier level and suddenly your active roster says that even though you paid us for 150 people, there are 300 active people listed there. We want to make sure that you don't end up in a situation where someone affiliates with you who isn't actually on your team and who might not have, the right intentions. Yes,
Jules,
Susan, go ahead.
Jim Anderson is asking, what about ACRA? ACRA, actually, the individual teams will handle um, the member admin fee. And they can either choose to pay the member admin fee for everyone and then charge their athletes, or they can have their athletes pay that member admin fee. ACRA has decided to have the teams take care of it themselves.
Guy's question is, a high school age student who is a foreign national, do we have to list a US address like a school address? You do not. Anyone who is a foreign national who wants to become a basic member can actually go to our database, and they will be able to start. They click on their individuals, join, and it will ask their country of residence. So if they are on exchange, they choose their actual country of residence. Um, they will choose their country of residence, and it will prompt them to select the Basic Membership International, which in their case is free, especially with the basic membership. They can then still be added to your roster. We are not sending them any paperwork, so the foreign address is no issue. So there's no need for them to be listed with a US address in your roster. You can still find them based on their last name and their date of birth. Um, and I hope that that kind of covers what you were looking for. But to give you, the short answer is you do not have to list a U.S. address. They can list their foreign address, and that even makes them eligible for a free basic membership. They will not be charged that cost. As for Jim's question, is the Regatta Central roster the same? Um, the Yeah, the most of that roster is the same. However, you will notice that a change coming from your U.S. rowing roster will be immediately in your Regatta Central roster, where the Regatta Central roster might not prompt you to have the same people listed right away because you did not complete all the information that the U.S. rowing part of the database might require.
I would also add to that the U.S. rowing database is newer technology, and if you go in through U.S. rowing, you're going to see everybody on the roster. Um, we there sometimes when you go in through Regatta Central, a coach may only see those athletes that they have added to the roster. So if you go in through Regatta Central and you see an incomplete roster, then you need to contact the folks at Regatta Central, let them know that's the case, and then they will give you full permissions.
Felicia, I just saw your question. How can I download my roster to do a data dump um, to create memberships for 150 rowers? There is a way to download the roster that currently exists by clicking on exporting to Excel. Let me actually look up. Yeah, it's called Export to Excel. That will create a spreadsheet of what is currently listed, of all the people that are currently listed on your roster. Um, Landon, I saw your question. Can we import members like with an Excel sheet? That is something that we are working on. It's one of the things that is currently on the list. It's a question that we're getting regularly, especially with teams now, discovering the roster and working on it. Um, there's currently not an upload function to import your members if they are all on a spreadsheet. You will have to click on Add an Athlete and then add their name, the date of birth, and the email address for them to appear if they are all brand new. But it is something that we are working on to be there, hopefully by early next season.
And kind of a workaround, if we have a couple of clubs this past season in the spring who literally had 100 novices. So when you're talking those numbers, we feel your pain, coaches and administrators. We can set up with you and Regatta Central a way, kind of a manual, one time only until we have something automatic. We'll be able to set something up for you so that all of those novices are brought, are imported into your database, into your roster. Basic memberships, they started out at $575 this year, the beginning of this year. We have a 3-year program where they're going to be increasing by $2, never to go above $10. So you'll be seeing when we send out information in our membership brochure that the member admin fee for next year will be $7.75.
You should be able to see the club code on the main profile. It should say club code and then the 5-symbol code. If that is not there, you can click on roster and then settings. And the settings where you can set whether or not you want to use the club code will also show you what your team's club code is. So the reason it said admin code and notes is mainly because I access this from an administrator account to be able to show you all the functions at once. But the same things are available to you both through the roster and on your main profile tile. If an international rower wants to be a free member, they have to first add themselves on our website. So they go to membership.usrowing.org. Under individuals, they join. They will be given the free membership by selecting their country, which in this case is outside of the United States. And then once they are on your roster by using the club code and affiliating themselves, if you then go to Regatta Central and you start an entry for your team at any regatta, you should be able to find them on your roster and add them that way. So if you are adding them all new and they happen to be a foreign rower, their membership is added like anyone else, but it might not be free simply because our system doesn't know that they are a foreign-based rower unless they go in and actually set that for themselves. So we have made it free, but they have to go in and sign up as an individual before you can see them in Regatta Central instead of the other way around. Yeah, if you're not seeing everyone affiliated with your team that you see on the US Rowing portal, contact Regatta Central and they can set up that connection. It might be because one of the two was created before the other, and there's no. I see your next question is there's no sync anymore. That's because the sync is now immediate. So when you log into our US Rowing portal, it will always be synced right away. So you just click and you renew the page as it is, and if anyone has done a membership or a change in the meantime, they will automatically appear there.
What has happened, and I don't know exactly when this change occurred, but they have special permissions now assigned to certain people's account, and you just need to ask for, the coaching privileges that allow you to see everybody, and they'll know what to do.
Go to Regatta Central, my roster doesn't look quite like yours. For one,
Yeah.
the birth dates are not there. Cindy, the roster that I logged into is the roster that is connected through the US Rowing portal. So instead of going to Regatta Central, you go to membership.usrowing.org, and under organizations, you click on members. You log in with the Regatta Central account that your team has connected to your team's management privileges with us. And there you'll find the roster button to see the roster that looks like the one that I'm looking at. That will include the birth dates and also for you the way to edit any information for athletes that might be outdated or currently missing. And in addition, if any one of you has any trouble logging in, finding the admin code, getting your token, you can always give us a call. It's one of the things we can provide over the phone. It's something that we can look up for you. Obviously, it's intentionally difficult to find or not even public because of the information it provides about the athletes, about people who were on your team right now or who were on the team in the past. So give us a call if you have any questions regarding connecting a Regatta Central account or a new email address to the access to our membership portal and to the roster, and we can talk you through it.
Is there a way to have reminders automatically sent to remind rowers to sign a waiver? It seems only one reminder goes out. Can I click a button to have reminders sent again? Currently, you can't, but that is going to go on our list for 2017. That's an excellent that's an excellent feature.
In addition, we have some email templates that coaches can send out listed on the website that explain how a member can find their own record and how they can sign their waiver. There are also some videos available for individual members that, including one that explains how to sign your waiver. Um, and what they can do is if you put someone on your roster and you have paid for their membership, but they have not yet gone in to sign their waiver, if they go to the membership portal and under individuals, click on join as if they're brand new, they can search for themselves by using their first and last name, date of birth, and email address. And if the date of birth and last name match to a record that you just created, it will allow them to attempt to log in. And if they click on set or reset password, it will send them a email that allows them to log in to the email address that you provided on the roster. So if someone says, "Hey, I didn't get the email," and you are sure that the email that you put in the roster is the correct one, they can find it themselves and then sign the waiver that way. And I see that you said, template is helpful, but it would be better if a reminder was automatically sent every day until they sign it. Like, maybe not every day, but we could definitely get something where you can send a reminder to the people who have an active membership but who do not have their waiver right now. We're going to put that on our list of things to add for the spring of 2017.